Hi, welcome to my channel and TGSET English Paper 2, Unit 6 English in India. And in this video lesson, I will be dealing with the topic Lord Macaulay's Militant Education 1835. And this topic is also a part of Usman University MA Semester 2 Paper 1 ELT. And for TGSET candidates, I have given multiple choice questions at the end of the video lesson, which are taken from UGC net paper to previous question papers. So please listen to me carefully and watch the complete video. And for OU MA Semester 2, I have given a link in the description box for a descriptive essay on this topic. And please click the link to get the descriptive essay for your examinations. So Lord Macaulay's Militant Education 1835. So before watching this video, you please watch my previous videos on the topic English in India, Unit 7, Charles Grant's recommendations on education, and also Charter Act 1813. So if you watch Charter Act 1813, it will be very easy to understand this topic, Lord Macaulay's 1835 topic. So let's see, before 1835, education in India was based on traditional systems, Sanskrit and Persian or Arabic. So in India, there was a traditional system. Classical languages like Sanskrit, Persian or Arabic were taught in Indian schools, Pathashalas as madrasas. So when the East India Company took responsibility of education in India after a Charter Act of 1813. So at that time, there was a debate between Orientalists and Anglicists on the medium of instruction. So who are Orientalists? So Orientalists are the persons who advocated Indian classical languages or Indian traditional education system are called Orientalists. So they wanted to continue the same Indian traditional system, and also Sanskrit or Persian or Arabic are as a medium of instruction in India. But Anglicists, so they opposed these classical languages in India, and they wanted to introduce English as a medium of instruction. So next. So Lord William Bentinck, the Governor General, sought clear policy guidance. So when there was a debate between these Orientalists and Anglicists on the medium of instruction, so Anglicists wanted to introduce Western education and English as a medium of instruction. So Lord William Bentinck, he was the Governor General of India, and he wanted a clear policy on the medium of instruction. So this is a picture of Lord William Bentinck. So let's see Lord Macaulay's key proposals. So core recommendations. So this Lord Macaulay's document was presented on 2nd February 1835 to Governor General Council by Lord Macaulay. So English to be the medium of instruction. This is very important point here. So because it changed the entire shape of education in India after the 1835 Macaulay's Minute. So English to be the medium of instruction and use funds exclusively for Western science and literature via English. So Macaulay recommended that to stop funding Sanskrit and Persian or Arabic studies in India, and he wanted funds to be given only the schools which taught Western science and literature through the English and its medium of instruction. So stop printing Oriental works under government support. So Oriental works are Oriental languages, native languages, regional languages, Urdu, Hindi, Sanskrit, Arabic, Persian. Okay. So next, the main objective of Macaulay's minute was to educate a small elite to disseminate knowledge downward. This is called downward filtration theory. So this is very important point to remember for your examination purpose. Downward filtration theory. So he wanted to educate only a group of people, an elite, so who would be intermediates between Indian masters and uh, British officials. So this is downward filtration theory. Create a class of Indians who are Indian blood and color, but English in taste and intellect. So Lord Macaulay's intention was to create clerks, not thinkers. So that's why he wanted Indian blood and color, but English in taste, moral and intellect. So this is a main goal or aim of Lord Macaulay's minute on education. So let's see Macaulay's views on Indian classical literature. So let's look at his notorious statement on Indian classic literature. A single shelf of good European library was worth the whole native literature of India and Arabia. So this is a notorious statement on Indian classical literature. Also, Macaulay argued that Sanskrit or Arabic or Persian literature could not compare with European works in works of imagination or in general principles. So he argued that Sanskrit and Persian or Arabic Oriental literature is not at all compared with the European works, because European works are superior and European literature is superior than Oriental literature. That is his view on Indian classic languages and literature. So Macaulay's main aim is that he wanted to make Indians feel inferior, and he wanted to make Indians feel inferior of their culture to European. English Education Act 1835. So this act is passed by Lord William Bentinck on 7th March 1835. So this Act, Indian English Education Act 1835, is based on Macaulay's recommendations. So Macaulay submitted his recommendations to Governor General Council on February 2nd, 1835. On March 7th, 1835, Lord William Bentinck passed the Act, that is English Education Act. So now English became the official medium of higher education. So before 1835 7th March, classical languages, Persian, Arabic, Sanskrit, and also regional languages, Hindi, Urdu, and other Marathi were taught in Indian schools. But after 7th March 1835, English became the official medium of higher education in India. So, and government funds which were given to Oriental languages were redirected from Orient to English institutions. Let's see significance of the Macaulay's Minute. So it was the foundation of modern education system in India, and he introduced Western knowledge, science, and rational thinking in Indian education. And he strengthened administrative efficiency through English speaking Indians. Let's see what's the impact of Macaulay's policy. So it created educated Indian middle class. So it was the main aim of Lord Macaulay, and he wanted to create an elite group which act as an intermediary between Indian masters and British government. So there was the rise of English journalism and English literature, and also reform movements. So we see English became the language of power and prestige in India. And also after 1835 Act, Indian English Education Act, traditional languages or traditional Indian system and indigenous languages, vernacular languages, local languages were neglected. And this was the picture of Raja Ram Mohan Rai. He was a supporter of English education in India. Raja Ram Mohan Rai. So let's see criticism of the minute. So it imposed culture superiority of the West, and so there was it created educational linguistic inequality between European educated or Western educated youth and Indian educated Indian classical literature language uh, learners. So there was a clear inequality between those two, and it focused on producing clerks, not thinkers. So the Macaulay's education focused only on producing clerks, not thinkers. So this is the system, Indian traditional system of teaching curriculums. So this is the modern school in India after 1835 Education Act. So let's see some questions from UGC and NET. Question 1. According to Macaulay's minute, which metaphor did he use to express the spirit of European literature over a native literature? So a single shelf of a good European library is both the old native literature of India and Arabia. So he gave uh, of superiority of European literature, and he praised European literature, and he criticized Indian classical literature. Second question: what was the main objective of Macaulay's education policy? So, main is to promote English education among Indians. This was the main objective of Macaulay's education policy. The phrase Indian in blood and color, but English in taste, opinions, morals, and intellects refers to. It refers to the aim of creating English educated Indians. Next, the English Education Act of 1835 was passed by. So Lord Bentinck was the Governor General of India at the time. So he passed English Education Act of 1835 on February 7th, 1835. Lord Macaulay submitted on 2nd February 1835. So Lord Bentinck, based on Macaulay's minutes, he passed an act, the English Education Act. So with this act, English became an official language and an medium of instruction in Indian schools. Question 5. Which of the following best describes the downward filtration theory? Already we discussed this downward filtration theory in our lesson, so advocated by Macaulay. So it means he wanted to educate a small elite, a small group in English, who would then transmit knowledge to larger masses. This is the idea of Lord Macaulay, that is called downward filtration theory. So he wanted to educate only a group of people in India, who then became an intermediary between English officials, British officials, and Indian masses. Thank you for watching this video, and subscribe my channel for more videos on Telangana Set and MA English lessons.